So if you're talking about rare Super Nintendo games, one game that always comes up in the conversation is Earthbound. It was a quirky RPG released for the Super Nintendo, kind of towards the end of the Super Nintendo's life cycle, that evidently didn't sell too well. Now the game sells for over $200 and it's considered a rare Super Nintendo game. But is it actually a rare game? I decided to do some research, come up with some similar games that I could compare it to, and this is what I came up with. So let's find out if Earthbound is really rare. So the first thing I discovered is that it is tough to find sales figures of retro games because nobody really cared then. Sure, you have stuff like the MPD and the Player's Choice stuff, but with no internet, nobody really cared. You didn't really figure out how much a game sold, you just wanted to play the game. So it was kind of tough to figure out some good instances of games that were similar to Earthbound. The first one I came up with was Pandora's Tower for the Wii. Pandora's Tower for the Wii was an RPG that released towards the end of the Wii's life cycle. This game sold about 130,000 copies, and that didn't seem like too much. Earthbound sold 140,000 copies in North America and 400,000 copies in Japan. And the 130,000 for Pandora's Tower was North America, so Earthbound sold more than Pandora's Tower. Pandora's Tower is a $20 to $30 game, whereas Earthbound is a $200 game. Sure, the only thing I could really come up with was A, it wasn't a Nintendo published game, and 2, Wii games are still kind of common out in the wild, whereas Super Nintendo might be a little tougher, but still, this game sold less than Earthbound, and it's selling for a whole lot less price-wise. So I decided maybe this wasn't the best comparison, but it was pretty decent. I wanted another. So I came up with an interesting one, Mario Tennis for the Virtual Boy. Now a Virtual Boy game, Mario Tennis, sports game, what's the correlation with Earthbound? Well, they both kind of released around the same time period. There's only about a 1-year difference between the two, and Mario Tennis was a Nintendo published and developed game. Now like I said, it's tough to come up with sales figures for retro games, but luckily, you could kind of figure out how many units Mario Tennis sold by looking at the Virtual Boy sales in North America, because that was a pack-in game. The Virtual Boy itself only sold 170,000 copies in North America. So that's, 30,000 more than Earthbound sold as a game. So it's safe to say that Mario Tennis sold 170,000 copies in North America. Mario Tennis is a $5 to $10 game, whereas Earthbound is still a $200 game. So shouldn't Mario Tennis be considered a rare game? Maybe that's not the best example because, hey, although it is a Nintendo published and developed game, the Virtual Boy isn't really a collector system, and plus it was a sports title. So I needed one more. I thought these two were good examples, but I wanted one more smoking gun. I wanted a Super Nintendo RPG, and I found one. This was a little tougher to come across, but Ogre Battle for the Super Nintendo is considered to be one of the best Super Nintendo RPGs. It was a strategy RPG, and it was really different than what we had seen at home consoles at the time. Ogre Battle is also an expensive game, nowhere near the price range of Earthbound at $200, but it's a $100 game. So I figured to myself, well, if this is a $100 game and Earthbound's a $200 game, then Ogre Battle must have sold much better than Earthbound. But it didn't. Earthbound sold 140,000 copies in North America. Ogre Battle sold about 28,000 copies in North America. That is a fraction of what Earthbound sold, yet it is cheaper than Earthbound. So now I'm just confused. Is Earthbound a rare game? So everything I came up with drew me to one conclusion. Earthbound is not a rare game. An uncommon game? Sure, I'll give you that. But is it really worth the $200 price tag? I don't think so, especially when games like Ogre Battle, which sold a hell of a lot less than Earthbound, sell for half the price. So why in the hell does Earthbound sell for $200? The only thing I could come up with is that someone decided that this game was worth $200 and someone paid it. See, that's the problem with retro games. A retro game doesn't really have a value unless someone gives it a value, and then that value isn't really justified until someone pays that. So if I decide to sell a game for $50 and someone sells the game for $200, that person and we both sell our game, what do you think people are going to base their price on? My $50 or the $200? The $200, of course, because as Wu-Tang taught us, cash rules everything around me, cream get the money, dollar dollar bill y'all. So it's all a numbers game. If somebody pays something for something, that gives it value. So how can you deflate that? Don't pay it. I'm gonna do more videos like this because it was really interesting discovering all this stuff. But as I said in this video, Earthbound I don't feel is a rare game. It's an uncommon game, but it's nowhere near worth the $200 price tag. So let me know what you think. Do you consider Earthbound to be a rare game? Let me know in the comments section below. Thank you for liking this video and subscribing to my channel, and look out for more videos like this if you guys like it in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Later.